Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum dear students and welcome back. Now we are going to resume our lectures. This was the slides where we have recorded our first lecture. Now the JLabel is a control used to give us instructional information about the GUI. For example, if we want to enter the username here, then this label will guide us that you should enter the username in this text field. And if similarly, if we should enter the passwords here. So the labels gives us the instruction or help for us about the GUI components. Dear student, this is the example of the Java code for creating two different labels. Now this is the output. Enter your name, it is the first label. Enter your roll number, this is the second label. Now in the first label you can see that here just a string is appeared, and in the second label you can see that enter your roll number, and also the mouse is pointed is a tooltip. This is the tooltip which appears. For example, if I place my mouse here, this tooltip should appear, and this is the full window. Now this is the associated code of this example. First we will declare the import java.awt.static library. AWT is the abstract windowing toolkit library. This library is responsible for the abstract windowing toolkit. That means that it creates the window or a JFrame. Also, this library contains the events programming for any GUI. For example, if I want to click the buttons, then the event associated with the buttons should be implemented, and this library contains the classes which implements the events. Now import javax.swing.static is the library used for creating different controls. For example, JLabel, JButton, JTextField, JCombobox, and JCheckbox, JRadio buttons, and similarly many other controls are stored inside of the javax.swing.static library. Now public class A extend JFrame. This is our class, which is a class, and it is a public class. Public means that its access specifier is the public and it can be accessed throughout the project, and it is inherited from the JFrame. JFrame is a window. This is the frame, and it is implemented in the AWT library. It is a class which is in this library. Then we have public class A. Class A is a constructor here. So constructor is in fact a function which is called when the object of this class is instantiated. Now we have JPanel contain new JPanel. This is the objects of the JPanel. JPanel will be inside of the JFrame, or it will be inside of the window. So first here we created the JPanel, which is in fact here it is the content object. You can use your own object name. Content.setLayout new flow layout. This defines the layout of the GUI. New flow layout means that it will be free layout, that when I will increase the size of this window, then this label will appear after this label. Now it appears below this first label. Otherwise, if I increase the size of this GUI, this label will be appear after this label. So that's why this is the free fall layout of the GUI. Now to create the labels, first I need to create the objects of the labels. So JLabel, label 1, new JLabel. Here I will pass the strings in the constructor of the JLabel class. So this will in fact instantiate the label 1. Now again I will create the label 2, JLabel, label 2, new JLabel. Enter your roll number, it will create the second label. Excuse me. Now I will add these two labels in the panels. So before adding these labels in the panel, now the tooltips of the mouse is pointed is associated with the label 2 through the .set tooltip text function. This function associates this label, this tooltips with the label 2. Now I will add these two labels in the panel. So content.add label 1, content.add function and label 2. If I add first label, second label first, then second label will be appeared in the instead of the first label. Now set this dot set content to content. This label, this frame will be added inside of the class A, which is inherited from the JFrame. So now class A is a window. So this dot set content print means that this this frame is added into this window. This dot set title label demo, it means that it will set the title of the window as the label demo. This dot set default close operation jframe dot exit on close. This will implement this cross events. In fact, it is implemented in the default. By default, it is already here. So if I will click on this cross buttons, then the window will be disappear or it will be closed. This dot set size 200, 200 is defined the size of our window, 200 from the x-axis and 200 from the y-axis. This dot set visible true, it will appear the window. If I pass the false, the program will be compiled and run, but window will be disappear. So it creates the windows appear. So this dot set visible true, it appears the window. Now this is the end of this construction. Constructor is start from here and it is completed here. And public stated void main is a built-in function. Void main function is a function in every programming language where the program execution is started from this point. So inside of the body, I just declare the object of the JFrame. JFrame when is equal to new class A. It will in fact, it will call the constructor. When object is instituted, then the constructor will be called, and inside of the constructor, the full GUI is created. And this is the end of the void main function, and this is the end of this class. So this class is completed here. Now, dear students, we are going to implement or execute this code into the Java Eclipse IDE. So for this purpose, I need to first exit the slideshow. You can see that exit slideshow has been exited. Now, for executing the project, I have already created this projects here. Now I want to create another project so that you may learn. First file, click on the file menu, click on the new, and after clicking the new, click on the Java project. So I will create new Java project. Here type the name of the Java project that you want to create. For example, I want to create that label example project. Label example project. You can see this label example project will appear here. Now it is not here because I need to click next. If I click next, you can see this label example project has been appeared, and now I need to click the finish. So click finish. It says that do you want to create the modules? I don't need any modules here, so I don't want to create any modules. So don't click create. Now expand this label example project and right click on the source folder to create the class. In every Java project there must be at least one class. So type the name of the class. My class name is class A. Class A is the class name. If I want to create the public stated void main function, then I have to check here. If I want to create the abstract method, then I need to check here. If I don't need to create the constructor, then I have to uncheck here, but I need to create the constructor. So click finish. After clicking the finish, you can see that the code has been created here, which is the class A. This is the class A of this code. Now I need to put this code inside of the our program. So select this and copy this part of the code from here. First I need to copy. Now you need to select and paste the code out on the already created code. So for this purpose I have pasted the first part of the code here. Now again go to your slides and copy this part of the code and also paste it inside of the Eclipse IDE. Now code has been completed here. Now to compile the code, you should click run class A. If I extend it, so I have already many classes, so which class I need to click, so I will select from here. And if it has any errors, then the error message will appear here. But so I will click these buttons. So it says that select the sources to save. I want to save sources to class A. That means class A will be compiled and run. So click on OK. This is the output. This is the window that has been created by this program. So if I put the cursors here, so you can see mouse is pointed is the message or the tooltip which appears with the second label, and this is the first label. Now if I increases the size of the program, you can see that due to the flow layout, the second label appears in the same lines with the first label. And if I similarly decreases the size, you can see that the label will appear after in the new line after the first label. If I click on the cross button, then the project will be closed. Now the project has been closed. So this was the demo of the JLabel control. Now we are going to resume our slides. The next important control, which is very much used in many GUI Windows applications, that is called the JButton controls. JButton controls creates the click event. Now JButton controls has a label button. That means that on every buttons we have a label, and it is also platform independent implementation. Basically Java gives us platform independent applications. Means that Java application are runnable or can be used on any sort of the Windows or on any sort of the hardware platforms. Application result in some action when the button is clicked. When we push the button or click the button, then some interaction appears and it events is raised. So it is inherited from the abstracts button class. Basically all buttons, JButtons, are inherited from the abstracts button class of the JDK. That is the Java compilers, and it has abstracts button class. JButtons enable a user to perform a click action when the mouse is clicked here. Now this is the example of the JButtons control. You can see this is the buttons and this is just a label. The labels helps us to show that please click the buttons. When the button is clicked, you can see there is also a label on the button. So this is the labels, it gives us information that the beep sound will be appeared. Now how this label works here? For this purpose, this is the code in the Eclipse IDE. So first we will import java.awt.stylics, which is the package for creating the GUI. In fact, this is the package to create the JFrame, which is the main window. Then new package here, it is the java.awt.event.stylics. It creates the AWT event. This is the event. For example, if I click on the mouse buttons or on these buttons with the mouse, then the event will appear. And .swings.static contains all the controls. For example, labels and these buttons is in the swings controls. Import java.awt.toolkit. The toolkit is in fact another library. It gives us the toolkits. For example, toolkit.getDefault toolkit.b. This is a library responsible for creating the beep sound when I click on this button. Now I will create the class here, public class A extend JFrame, public class, then this is the constructor, and class A is extended from the JFrame. JPanel content, new JPanel content that set layout, new flow layout. This is the flow layout as like the previous example of the JLabel. It is freestyle layout. JLabel level 1, new JLabel, please click this button. So this is the label which point us that click on this buttons, and inside of the constructor this is the string. And JButton BTN, new JButton beep, and this is the exclamation mark. So this label or this text will appear on the button. Now BTN.set tooltip text mouse is clicked. When I point out the mouse here, then the mouse is clicked, tooltip will appear. I will show this output when I will run or compile this program in the Eclipse IDE. Now I need to add these two controls inside of this content control, which is the JLabel. So content.add label 1, content.add btn. So I added two objects in the content, which is the JPanel, and then JPanel is added inside of the JFrame. So this is a pointer variable which points to the object of the class A. This dot set title button demo. This is the title here, button demo. This dot close operation, when the program is exited or closed, then this JFrame dot exit on close event will rise. And this defines the size of the window, 200, 200, 200 axis, 200 y axis. It shows the size. This dot set visible true. Visible true means that it will show the window. Now I need to create the event. So to create the event, first button handler object should be instantiated. So button handler, new button handler. This is the objects of the handler, button handler class. Now to associate this event with the btn object, while the btn object is a JButton object, I need to associate add action listener events with the btn. So btn.add action listener handler. So that means that this event, which is the button handler event, is associated with the add action listener command, and this is in fact associated with the btn object. Now I need to define this handler too, or this btn handler. So now I will add an extra class here which defines the btn handler event. So private class btn button handler implements action listener. So this is the interface class, and implements is the relations of the interface class. So private class button handler implements action listener means that this button handler is implementing an action listener. Public void action perform action event e. This is a function which creates the action, and remember that this is not the user defined function, it is the built-in function where we are going to implement its body. So toolkit.getDefault toolkit function.beep function, it will create the beep sound, and toolkit is a class which is implemented in AWT.toolkit library. Now public static void main is a function from where the program execution is starting, and here I will create just a constructor. Constructor means I will instantiate the win object from the JFrame, and it is instantiated with the class A, and class A constructor is implemented here. So as soon as I instantiate this function or this object, then the constructor will be called, and the constructor body is starting from here to here. So all the code inside of the constructor will be compiled and executed, and this will give us the output here. Now this is the end of the main function, and this is the end of this class A. Now dear students, we will implement this code inside into the Eclipse IDE. So to run the code, I need to exit the slides, and I have to copy all this code from these slides. So first I need to copy this section. I have already created class A in the previous demo, so I do not require the new class here. So just place the code here. Again I will copy this code and delete the previous code and paste it here. Now first side of the code is pasted here. So again I will copy this code and put this code here in the Eclipse IDE. Now code has been completely pasted. This is the yellow line shows that this is just a warning message. It shows that class A does not declare a static final static serialized version UID field of type long. So because this is just a warning, so it is not an error. So if it is unserialized class, it is a serializable class. So that means it will be compiled without this warning. So just click on this button and again select the class A and click on this. So you can see that the window has been appeared and the program is completely executed. So now if I point a mouse here, you can see mouse is clicked. This is a tooltip. Mouse is clicked. This is not a function. Now if I click on the mouse button, you can see that the beep sound will be created. You are hearing the beep sound, which is in fact the sound which has been created, or it is the beep sound. It is created to the toolkit.getDefault toolkit function. Now we are resuming our slides. Now if I want to implement the multiple JButtons controls, for this purpose I need getAction command. So we will use getAction command for the multiple buttons events. Dear student, we have already consumed more than 20 minutes here. So we will continue these slides in the next portion of this lecture. Thank you very much.